Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my updated Mecha Phantom Beast deck. Now I've had this deck for a long time. I've always really liked it. It's definitely a very confusing deck for beginners. I don't recommend it for people that are new to the game. But if you want a deck that's complicated, has a lot of built-in protection, has a lot of interesting plays, and really crazy ways to XYZ, it could be a very fun deck to use. Mecha Phantom Beasts generally just bring out tokens. The tokens allow them to activate effects and protect themselves and do all kinds of stuff, and I'll get into that with the deck. But this has been updated. I've changed a lot of things around to try to make it more consistent and add some of the new things that are very, very powerful for the deck type. So to start things off, we have two Mathematician in this deck. So Mathematician is allowing us to make interesting plays with Lion. We could do other plays depending on what's in the graveyard. Also a good advantage card. So I do like this card a lot for this deck. Gives the deck a little more consistency with what it's trying to do. And then we have two Coltwing. Coltwing is very powerful if you can special summon it. You'll be able to get those tokens out, and you'll also have built-in destruction or XYZ plays depending on what you're trying to do, which is the main power of the deck. Most of the Mecha Phantom Beasts, when the tokens are out there, you get really protected heavily, and then they can activate effects with tokens. So that's mainly how they play, and Coltwing is just a card that gives you advantage from special summoning. And then three, Hamstrat. Hamstrat is definitely a key card in the deck because, again, you can bring out tokens extremely easily. So it's a really nice card for this deck. Usually you want to run it at 3. The ability to special summon Mecha Phantom Beasts from the graveyard give you access to a lot of really powerful plays like Coltwing, as we were saying before. And then we have 3 Megaraptor. So again, nice to have a beater because some of the cards we have aren't really beaters. They're more just built-in protection to set up tokens. But Megaraptor happens to be a beater that also has, additional really nice effects. They are able to kind of load up tokens. You can kind of stack them. When a token gets summoned, you can summon another. So it allows you to, keep getting tokens together. Also really nice that you can just use this card to search out your deck. A beater with built-in protection that searches out your entire deck with the tokens all combined makes really, really good plays for you. And then we have the new card, 3 Beast Alliance, so I really like this card. So not only is it a tuner that has built-in protection like all the other Mecha Phantom Beasts, but then again, it has a graveyard effect that you can normal summon Mecha Phantom Beasts. It also has an effect that you can get a token back when you lose it. So a lot of really great things about this card. So I'm seeing a lot of people run this at 3, and that's currently what I'm doing. I think it'll be very powerful for giving this deck access to a lot of different plays. We'll have a tuner that can, give us swarming. It'll allow us to make synchro plays, and it sets up our XYZs very well on top of it. Really makes the deck very consistent. And then Tetherwolf. Tetherwolf is a really crazy beater how he works because he automatically gives you a token for advantage, so you can set up things really, really easily. But also, if he wants to just be a 2500 beater, he has access to that effect too by using tokens. So again, a very strong card to have. Gives you access to really big plays early on. I really like it. So now for the spells, we're running 2 creature swap. I find the creature swap is sort of situational, but I really like the ability to do some really cool stuff with it in this deck. 1 Dark Hole, 2 Fires of Doomsday. Because of how the Mecha Phantom Beasts work, you can still get advantage from them by having other tokens. So Fires of Doomsday generally is my favorite choice for this deck. Scapegoat is a lot more cloggy, but obviously you'll get more tokens out of it. So it's definitely up to you. I've seen people run both. 1 limiter removal, really cool with this deck because your Mecha Phantom Beasts won't get destroyed because you have tokens out. 2 MST, 1 Foolish Burial, again like Mathematician setting these up for us. 1 Scramble Scramble, I find that 1 is okay. 2 is kind of pushing it. It depends. Scramble Scramble is a very situational card, but can set up what you want really nicely to do some cool plays. 2 Soul Charge. We do have some special summon power and some big things from having a lot on the field, so I like to have Soul Charge in this deck. 2 Aerial Recharge. Again, just a nice way to bring out a token so you can set up things very quickly. And otherwise, pretty much Stable Traps, Blackhorn, Fiendish Chain, Dimensional Prison, a lot of the ones you'd expect to see just to give us some more protection. So now for the extra deck, we're going to have pretty much split synchros and XYZs. The levels are all based on what you currently can bring out. Catastor and Armades, you want level 5s with Lion and a token. And then 8s are also important. Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, again with 2 tokens. And Lion, so you can make additional plays there. I also really like having 1 or 2 6-stars because you can do Tetherwolf and Lion or whatever you're currently doing. So you can do other variations there. Goyo Guardian is a very powerful one, obviously, and Powered Inzektron I'm trying out. I think it could be really nice for this deck because it's a machine. It kind of works out with what you're trying to do, which is really nice. Also with 6s, you can also upgrade them to 8s with this deck, so that's also pretty nice. For the XYZs, I'm going to be running, the most useful 4-stars for this deck. Chidori, obviously, with a wind-based deck. Exciton, Gear Gigant with a machine-based deck. Silent Honor. For the 7s, going to be running 2 Dracossack, the boss of this deck. Extremely powerful card. Most people know what this does. Just a really nice card overall. And 1 Big Eye, again, a very powerful one to have access to. And then for 10-star Gustav, just huge damage. When you can bring this out, can be very powerful for this deck. So I definitely like having 1. 1 is fine. You could definitely run more than 1 if you want, but the extra deck is very tight. You really want to have 1 of everything that will be useful for this deck. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, in the side decks I kind of just go over other recommended cards that can also be really useful for this deck. Not meant to be a side deck for matches, these are cards I just want you guys to think about when you're building your own MVP deck that could be really useful. There are other rank 7s that could be useful. Master of Blades can be a very powerful one. Other back row cards like Wiretap and Forbidden Lance could be useful. There's a bunch of other synchros you could run. Stardust Spark to kind of, save things. Concordia, it doesn't work with how we're running the deck right now. 7 stars we don't have easy access to. Overall, it's a good card. It doesn't really work well in the build I currently am running. There is a new one, Dracossack, so it's in the OCG right now. When this comes out, obviously for TCG, I'll definitely take a look at this. Definitely looks really interesting. Can do some really crazy stuff, so I really want to see if I'm going to run this when it comes out. You can run the higher level synchros like Star Eater and stuff if you can really swarm the field, but it's kind of situational. Effect Veiler give you either synchro plays, obviously dealing with effects. Scapegoat, as I was saying earlier. Tempest is interesting in this deck because obviously you could, make those rank 7 plays and use wind monsters, but, I don't really want to get rid of my wind monsters from the graveyard, so it's kind of tough. You can also run Sky Palace. I prefer Gustav, but they're both very powerful cards. Magic Planter you could use with Aerial Recharge, because Aerial Recharge is going to get destroyed usually anyway, and Fiendish Chain, in case the monster leaves the field or something. So that'll give you some draw power in this deck, which is nice. Supply Squad, with how the deck works, you can understand why this will be powerful. Spiritual Wind Art, because of the things that we have on the field with wind, it's really easy to use a card like this, so this could be really powerful. And there's a few other MVP cards that I'm not going to talk about that aren't that useful. Do a Barrel Roll has a cool name, but really not that great because of the fact that you have to get rid of all your tokens. If it only said 1 token, then I probably would run this, but because you have to get rid of all your tokens, it really leaves you kind of defenseless just to negate, 1 thing, which is really annoying. So that's my MVP deck. Very fun, very crazy what it can do. Getting access to those rank 7s and 10s with just tokens and like a monster or 2. It's really, really nice that you can kind of set things up like that. I love the built-in protection. Very defensive deck when it first appears, but then it overloads the tokens with aggression and can really set things up really well. When this deck has the right field situation, it's very tough to deal with because of all the built-in protection. But if you guys have your own Mecha Phantom Beast deck, definitely post below. Let me know in the comments. You could talk about what cards you use. Maybe you can make some suggestions for me. Maybe there's some cards I didn't think about. I would really love to hear that. I really want to keep updating this as I go along and see what can work best for it. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.